Today, I have a story that will help you learn English in a fun and interesting way. We are going to talk about a man who started as a small boy in Russia and became one of the most powerful leaders in the world. His name is Vladimir Putin. Maybe you have heard this name before. Maybe you know he is the leader of Russia. But do you know how he got there? His journey is full of discipline, learning, and big decisions. And in this video, you will learn about his life while improving your English. This story will use simple words and clear sentences. You will hear new vocabulary, and I will help you understand it. So, turn on the subtitles, and if you hear a new word, repeat after me. The best way to learn English is by listening and practicing. Are you ready? Let's begin our journey into the life of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin was born on October 7, 1952, in Leningrad, a city now called St. Petersburg, Russia. His family was not rich. His father was a factory worker, and his mother cleaned buildings. They lived in a small apartment with no hot water. Life was difficult, but they never gave up. As a child, Putin was small and quiet, but he had a strong spirit. He didn't like to lose. When other boys tried to bully him, he fought back. He knew that size didn't matter, what mattered was strength and strategy. This is why he fell in love with judo, a sport where you use your opponent's power against them. Putin also loved learning. He studied hard in school and read many books. But he was not a perfect student. Sometimes, he skipped class to play with friends. His teachers said he was smart but needed more discipline. One day, when he was a teenager, he discovered something exciting: the KGB, the secret intelligence agency of Russia. He thought, "I want to be a spy." But when he asked how to join, they told him, "First, study law." From that moment, he had a new dream: becoming a spy and serving his country. With a clear goal in mind, young Vladimir Putin decided to study law. He knew that the KGB only accepted the best, so he had to work hard. In 1970, he joined Leningrad State University and focused on his studies. At first, studying law seemed boring. There were many rules to memorize, and some subjects were difficult. But Putin never gave up. He understood that discipline was the key to success. His professors noticed that he was serious and determined. He was not the loudest student in class, but he was one of the most focused. While studying, he also trained in judo. This sport taught him patience and control. It was not just about physical strength, it was about strategy. The same skills he learned in judo would later help him in politics. Finally, after 5 years of hard work, Putin graduated in 1975. It was a special day because something incredible happened. He was recruited by the KGB. His dream had come true. The KGB sent him to Moscow for training. There, he learned how to gather information, how to speak in code, and how to stay unnoticed. He was not allowed to talk about his job with anyone, not even his family. Being a spy was exciting, but it was also a life of secrets. After his training, Putin was sent to East Germany, a communist country at the time. He worked undercover, watching people and sending reports back to Moscow. But real espionage was not like the movies. There were no action scenes, no car chases, just quiet observation and patience. For more than 10 years, Putin worked for the KGB. But in 1991, something big happened. The Soviet Union collapsed. The world was changing fast, and Putin had to make a choice. His time as a spy was over. What would he do next? In 1991, the world around Vladimir Putin changed forever. The Soviet Union collapsed, and the KGB lost its power. Suddenly, Putin's career as a spy was over. He had spent years training, learning secrets, and working in intelligence. But now, his country was different. It was time for something new. Putin returned to St. Petersburg. He was not famous, and he had no clear job. But he had skills. He was intelligent, disciplined, and good at solving problems. Soon, an old professor from university, Anatoly Sobchak, offered him a job. Sobchak had become the mayor of St. Petersburg, and he needed someone he could trust. Putin started working in city government. His job was to help bring foreign businesses to Russia. He spoke German fluently, which helped him communicate with European investors. He worked quietly but effectively, gaining respect from his colleagues. In just a few years, Putin became an important figure in Russian politics. He was serious, focused, and always prepared. People saw him as someone who could get things done. His work in St. Petersburg caught the attention of leaders in Moscow. Then, in 1996, Putin moved to Moscow. He got a job in the Russian government, working for President Boris Yeltsin. Yeltsin liked Putin's intelligence and loyalty. He quickly promoted him to head of the FSB, the new intelligence agency that replaced the KGB. Putin's rise was fast. In 1999, Boris Yeltsin surprised the world. He chose Putin as prime minister. And just a few months later, when Yeltsin resigned, Putin became the president of Russia. It all happened so quickly. Just 8 years earlier, Putin was a former spy with no political experience. Now, he was leading the biggest country in the world. But the real challenge was just beginning. How would he handle power? In 2000, Vladimir Putin officially became the president of Russia. He was only 47 years old and not well known by the public. Many people wondered, who is this man? Can he lead the country? At that time, Russia had many problems. The economy was weak, crime was high, and people were losing hope. Putin had a clear goal: make Russia strong again. He wanted a stable economy, a powerful military, and more respect from other countries. One of his first moves was to control Russia's richest businesses. In the 1990s, a small group of businessmen, called oligarchs, controlled most of Russia's wealth. Putin made sure they followed government rules, or else they lost their power. He also focused on security. There were terrorist attacks in Russia, and Putin promised to stop them. He used the military to fight terrorism and made sure the government had more control over the country. Some people supported him, while others thought he was too strict. Over the years, Putin became very popular in Russia. Many people saw him as a strong leader who brought order and stability. He appeared on TV riding horses, playing ice hockey, and practicing judo. This created an image of power and control. But not everyone agreed with his leadership. Other countries started to question his decisions. Some believed he had too much power. Others worried that Russia was becoming less democratic. Even with criticism, Putin continued leading Russia. He was re-elected multiple times. In 2008, he became prime minister, but in 2012, he returned as president again. Through the years, Putin has remained one of the most influential leaders in the world. His leadership style is strong and direct, and he continues to shape the future of Russia. Now, let's take a moment to learn some English from Putin's story. We have seen many interesting words and phrases. Let's go over them together. Here are some important words from the story. Spy, a person who secretly collects information. Example, James Bond is a spy in the movies. Government, the group of people who lead a country. Example, the government makes laws for the country. Collapse, when something suddenly fails or falls. Example, the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. Oligarchs, very rich and powerful businesspeople. Example, in Russia, oligarchs controlled many industries in the 1990s. Let's practice some sentences from the story. Repeat after me. Putin was born in 1952. He studied law before becoming a spy. In 1999, he became prime minister. He wanted to make Russia strong again. Now, let's do a quick challenge. Try to answer these questions in the comments. What was Putin's dream job as a child? Where did he work before becoming president? What word describes a person who secretly collects information? So, what can we learn from Vladimir Putin's story? Whether you agree with his leadership or not, one thing is clear: he is a man of discipline, strategy, and determination. Putin started as a small boy in a poor family. He was not the biggest or the strongest, but he learned how to use his mind and skills to succeed. He set a goal to become a spy, and he worked hard to achieve it. Later, when his country changed, he adapted and found a new path in politics. This is an important lesson for you too. No matter where you start, you can grow, learn, and improve. Maybe learning English feels difficult now, but with practice, you will become better every day. Just like Putin trained in judo and studied to become a leader, you can train your English skills and reach your goals. Remember, small steps lead to big success. Keep learning, keep practicing, and don't give up. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel and watch more videos to continue your English journey. See you next time, my friend.